After leaving the market town of Huaracondo, my van threaded its way through zigzagging mountain roads towards the trailhead. I was excited to get out and start my adventure through the Andes Mountains to Ollantaytambo. At the trailhead, I met my muleteers. These guys were amazing. They transported my supplies across the rugged terrain and cooked some of the most incredible food I tasted in Peru. Most amazing is that 3 times a day, they broke camp after I hit the trail, passed me along the way, and had camp set up again by the time I arrived. While they made final preparations, I surveyed the terrain. It looked a lot like my home in Colorado, so I wasn't too worried, but since the trailhead was at 10,000 feet, I knew I'd have my work cut out for me.
Okay, we're just minutes from setting out on our Moonstone Trek. I'm thrilled. I can't believe I'm here. As you can see, we're going to go somewhere up there. And off we go. Setting out.
I set out with a light heart. The weather and views were beautiful, and my body was eager for the climb. I've always enjoyed hiking, the combination of solitude and exercise that puts me deep in my own head, which makes it somewhat of a meditational experience. But after years of studying Peru's history, imagining myself here in the Andes, exploring the strange land and its ancient and mysterious past, my trek had taken on a spiritual quality as well. After all, I was a pilgrim of sorts, here to visit Machu Picchu, but also to fulfill a step of my own life's journey, to find the traveler and storyteller within.
Okay, even though we're not on the Inca Trail, I wanted to partake in a ritual practiced by the Incas long ago when they would go on a pilgrimage to Machu Picchu and maybe other places as well. They would carry stones or some other offerings that they would deposit at Machu Picchu, to the mountain, to the Apu, the sacred place of Machu Picchu, at a tambo, a resting spot at the top of the mountain. Given all the other gear I have in my backpack, this is maybe somewhat of a small token, but nonetheless, it's sort of a symbolic gesture of carrying a weight up a mountain, and then when you get to the top, you put down that weight and you let it go. So I think we can probably all relate to that analogy in our own lives. Perhaps we've worked on something where, we had to essentially put down our rocks or put down our weight in order to have a spiritual unburdening, if you will. So these I will deposit once we get to Machu Picchu.
Our route followed an ancient Inca road, and given its grade and elevation, I couldn't help but respect the foot messengers known as chasquis who once relayed information along these mountain paths. But what really humbled me was the sight of this mother and daughter. They were taking their pig to the market at Huaracondo, some 15 miles away.
Okay, we just took a little break to catch our breath, and our guide pointed out a couple of interesting sights. I don't know if you can see right about here is a glacier. And then he pointed out that the pass that we're going through today is right up here. You'll see kind of an S shape, and over on this side there's a wall. So that is the high point of today's trek, but that's where we're headed. And we are going to take a lunch. Our muleteers have kindly set up a little shade, prepared us some food so we can recharge before we continue our trip. right up here to a pre-Incan civilization. This ought to be interesting. And up we go. Muleteer taking his goods probably back to the market in the town that we visited on the way here. And heading out for the pass. And hopefully have some time and good weather for investigating the pre-Incan ruins there. But, we're into this again. Thundering and lightning, and just have our fingers crossed that we can avoid some rain. And here comes the rain. Not too much rain, just a slow drizzle, but it's enough to, after a while, it's enough to soak you. No fun being cold and wet. Here we are making our way up to the Incan wall right up there. I see there's a lot of burn here, done I guess to control the overgrowth or to prepare for farming. A rather hellish scene. The Andes Mountains. Always wanted to come here. Still can't believe I've made it. No surprise these mountains are, apus are considered sacred. You can feel the energy here. It sounds crazy, but it's big. It's powerful.
We reached the pass and began exploring Huata, a pre-Inca fortress that dates back at least 2,500 years. Its strategic value was obvious. Situated atop the ridge, it overlooks 3 converging valleys, and as I gasped for breath in the thin air, I could hardly think of a more defensible position. According to my guide, Huata was occupied by several cultures, including the Kilki and Wari. Originally constructed in the rustic style, the site has been partially restored in recent years. The niches found throughout the site may have functioned as temporary repositories for mummies, meaning this place had a deeply spiritual purpose as well. In Andean culture, mountains are highly sacred. They are believed to be inhabited by spirits known as apus and are still worshipped by many Andeans today.
Let's see, may have been some sort of an offering here, more recently obviously. You can see a seashell.
Resuming the trek, I encountered a very different geography on the other side of Huata. Descending from the heights of the fortress, my trail clung to the steep slopes of fertile green valleys and took me past a couple small farming communities. Despite the weather, however, I was in no hurry to reach camp. The rain and fog only seemed to complement the beauty of this spectacular landscape. It was late afternoon when we reached our destination, the hamlet of Chillipahua.
glimpse of the village is actually right here. Those are our tents where we'll be camping. Very colorful, probably the church or the school. Love Latin America, so many colors.
Despite being cold, wet, tired, and hungry, I was in high spirits. We'd seen remarkable things today, including a woman and child who made this trek look like a walk in the park, and a little-known pre-Inca ruins that would have been occupied the same time as Babylon was in the Middle East, and awe-inspiring views of glacier-topped mountains and lush valleys. Now our muleteers had tents set up and warm dinner and tea waiting for us. It had been a good day in the Andes Mountains, and I suspected that another equally remarkable adventure awaited us the following day.